jump in here. It's okay. It's just telling me what it is. Aww. Hi, everybody. I don't know who's there. I can't see your names, but you can message me to tell me you're here. Make sure you say your name. The system is not going to tell me who it is. And we'll be starting momentarily. I need to turn it off. Get out of YouTube. I do have a couple of live students today.
Live amateurs.
Live amateurs, my husband says. All right, so I have a classic class for us today. Yeah, can be easy, right? But there's, hey, Melissa, Yusur, hi, ladies, good to see you. Melissa, it's been a while. I hope you're doing all right. So make sure that you have what you need for this class. Okay, Michael joined us here. That's perfectly fine. Can you see me from here? Oh, Michael, you see the broadcast, right? Okay, good. I'm not gonna put you live, but you can, as long as you can join us, you're fine. Hi, lovely. Hi, Melissa. So good to see you. Seriously. And Michael, great. You joined us on my platform, on the StreamYard platform. And usually this is where I hold my one-on-one classes. This is also live streaming to YouTube. So if you got my next email with the YouTube link, you can refer to that to watch this again and again and again. Otherwise, it's not public, and it won't be public at least for a while. So as long as you can see me okay, Michael, you're fine. Melissa as well. I'm so glad to hear that. So everybody make sure you have props. Get yourself a blanket, any kind of blanket that you have, a towel works, a bolster or a pillow, a block or a thick book. And again, this is a classical. Hey, Dr. Leonovich. So good to see you. Melissa, good to see you. We have two Melissas today. I think you guys know each other too from Sacred Chill. You took at least a workshop together. All right, so again, we'll be starting in a couple of minutes. I see people arriving, and that's wonderful. It's so good to see everyone. Even if I don't see you in person, I feel your energy. You guys are awesome. It's a classic sequence today of Yin Yoga. That means we're going to go through the basic poses. I know all of you missed those. I missed those as well. If for some reason you can't hear me or can't see me well, let me know, and I will adjust. So I do have a natural sound playing in the background. And that is the birds and some singing bowls. Who is it? Tell them to cut it off. I think it's my dad. Is it? Oh. All right. So like I said, I do have two live students here with me, which is kind of fun. You won't see them. I had them set up so you can see them, but then we changed that. So without further ado, if everybody is ready, let's come to a comfortable seat so we can begin this sacred practice. And when you come to your seat, make sure that you're sitting up on something. I'm sitting up on a soft bolster. You can sit up on your blanket. You can sit up on the block. Most important thing is to allow the knees to kind of fold down towards the floor. And if you can, squeeze your shoulder blades against each other and push the shoulder blades into your chest, opening your heart. And melt your shoulders away from the ears. And come to stillness here, taking a few seconds to simply arrive on your mat, to simply be present. And to simply connect to your own breath, connect to your prana, your life force, your aliveness. This is a 75-minute class. The last 15 minutes will be total relaxation, a very long shavasana that I will lead you to through the full body awareness. So those of you who absolutely need to leave after 1 hour, you can. But if you would like to stay for the full 75 minutes, then you get really, really the full benefits of this practice. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, this is a perfect time to do that. We'll open our practice, as always, with 3 ohms. You're welcome to chant with me. You're welcome to simply feel the vibration of the mantra. And now that you're at home and no one can hear you, maybe you can give it your best shot. So let's take a deep inhale to cleanse the breath and exhale it all out. Maybe a sigh if that's appropriate. Let it all go. And let's inhale for 3 ohms. And with your next inhale, blink the eyes open, return to this space. We're starting in the good old butterfly pose. So go ahead and take the soles of the feet together, knees apart. And those of you who would like to place something under your knees, you're welcome to do that. You can place the blocks under your knees. You can place the blanket under your knees. This way you're not really making an effort to open the legs and stretch the groin. And then move the feet forward a little bit. So when we fold forward, we lengthen the spine instead of rounding the back. So move the feet forward a little bit. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. Don't look up. You're looking down and lengthening through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, fold forward over your feet. Allow yourself to go as far as your body can handle today, and don't go beyond that. And we'll use the first couple of poses to be reminded of Yin Yoga and why we practice Yin Yoga and how Yin Yoga works. It is a good opportunity to review the tenets of Yin Yoga. It is also a good way to be entertained during the 5 minutes that we're going to hold the pose for. So remember that Yin Yoga is the yoga of the joints, the yoga of the fascia, the connective tissue. It is the yoga of stillness, the yoga of chill. So in this practice, we seek stillness. You want to keep lengthening your spine as you fold forward. You want to feel the stretch in the lower back. You want to feel the stretch in the groin. And you want to feel a deep sensation, an intense stretch, but not a harmful and injurious stretch. We crossed the halfway mark of this pose. Yin Yoga has 4 tenets. First, we come to an honest edge in the posture. An edge where we feel everything we need to feel, but we don't go beyond, we don't go to a place of injury. And when we find this edge, we release all effort. And when we release this effort, we apply a gentle but consistent pressure on the joints and the fascia of the body. The third tenet of Yin Yoga is to hold the pose, to stay in it for a while, and today's while is 5 minutes. And that deepens that pressure, that gentle but consistent pressure on the fascia. And the fourth tenet of Yin Yoga is how to come out of the pose. We want to come out of the pose as honestly as we go into the pose and as honestly as we hold the pose. So we want to come out of it very gently, compassionately, lovingly. So take a deep inhale through the nostrils. Open the mouth and exhale with a sigh. Let go of all the tension. And one more. Deep inhale and exhale. And release the pose. So lift your torso. Close your knees. Bring them together like you're closing a book. Stretch your legs in front of you. Massage your knees, your thighs, the space behind your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles. And then lie down on your back in the corpse pose, in the traditional Shavasana pose, and simply rebound. So you're going to rebound for a minute, lie down on your back. I'll tell you when to come back to your seat. Again, I have 2 live students in the room. You might hear their noises as they move around, as they use props. I want to acknowledge the fact that Helen and Michael are on the live stream on the my live stream platform. And everybody else, we have about 14 people who are on the YouTube platform. So as you allow yourself time to rebound here, in the rebound pose, we want to try not to do anything at all. You allow your body time to heal, to rebound. That's what the rebound is. So a rebound pose is going to be about a minute after every pose. This is how you get the most benefit of the practice. This is why the 75-minute practice. So take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more deep inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, stretch your arms all the way overhead. Point your toes, lengthen. Inhale deeply and exhale. Clasp your hands, interlace the fingers, turn the palms away, and stretch your arms overhead. Flex your feet as well, and another full body stretch here. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest and rock side to side. Massaging your lower back, massaging your hips. And then roll over to one side, any side you choose, and come up to your seat and prepare for our next pose. Our next pose is another forward fold, another deep forward fold. It's the dragonfly pose. So you're gonna separate your legs. Again, remember, honest edge, that's what we're seeking. I'm gonna place a blanket in front of me here in order for when I fold, my forehead is gonna rest here. You're welcome to use a block, the bolster, whatever you like. But start here, separate the legs as wide as they like to go. Don't go, not as wide as they can go, but as wide as they're comfortable going. Then take your hands to your blanket or to the floor and slowly start hinging at the hips, lowering down. So I am gonna start timing for our pose here. You wanna go as low as it is safe for you to go. Some of you are gonna go as low as this and stay here, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe the forearms to the floor, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe if this is your edge, you can bend your elbows and interlace the fingers and let your chin rest on the interlaced fingers, or the forehead can rest on the interlaced fingers. And then after a while, after about a minute in the pose, you can walk your hands forward to deepen the pose. So as I mentioned during the first pose, the first tenet of Yin Yoga is to come to an honest edge, an edge that is appropriate for you. So that edge, in this case, you need to feel a sensation in the hamstrings. You want to feel a deep sensation in the groin, also the lower back. But we're still lengthening the spine. And as we lengthen the spine, we're still feeling that deep sensation in the hamstrings as part of that. And again, once you find your edge, release the effort. That means release the toes, release the feet. You don't need to keep flexing the feet anymore. You can release them now. Again, use your props to make the posture as comfortable as possible. But you want to try to let your head rest on something. That can be your hands. You can use your blocks. You can use your bolster, your pillow. Try to let the head rest. The head is pretty heavy. And if the head is not resting on something, your neck is working extra hard for no particular reason. And now with all this forward bending, we're allowing the spine to stretch quite a bit, lengthen quite a bit. We're also warming up the hamstrings. We're warming up the hip flexors, the quads. We're awakening the hips and their muscles. We're preparing the body for the deeper poses, the more demanding postures. The body tends to resist at first, even if you practice Yin Yoga on a daily basis. The body will always resist. So the first 2 to 3 postures, first 15 to 20 minutes of any practice, even 30 minutes, are meant to open the body up, calm the mind down in preparation for the deeper practice. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more. Deep inhale and exhale. And slowly, slowly walk your hands back towards your pelvis. Bend the knees and close your book. Bring the knees closer together. Stretch your legs in front of you. Massage your knees, the space behind the knees, the calves, the shins, the thighs, the hips, the low back. And once more, lie down on your back in the corpse pose and rebound. About a minute here, you will notice that one rebound after the other, the lower back will have less stuff to say. One rebound after the other. And the practice becomes so deep that all the sensations exist only at the surface. And then we're able to dip a little bit deeper every time into our private space, into that stillness that exists within. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more deep inhale. Exhale, stretch your arms all the way overhead for a full body stretch. So point your toes here, feel that you're stretching the right side and then the left side, the front and the back. Interlace your fingers and turn the palms away. One more full body stretch. This time flex your feet. Lengthen through your heels, full body stretch. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest. And take your time rocking. Don't rush. Rock. Side to side. Maybe gently forward and back. Maybe draw circles with the knees on the ceiling, allowing the body, the torso to follow in one direction and then the opposite direction. And then very gently roll over to any side you like and come up to your seat. And from the seat, make your way to hands and knees, the bear pose. And we're going to take our time exploring bear. So if you need to pad your knees, go ahead and use any blanket that you have to pad your knees. Palms on the floor. You want the shoulders to be on top of the wrists and the knees right under the hips on top of the knees. The spine is neutral at first, and your gaze is between the two palms. Make sure the feet are also about a hip width difference apart. So take a deep inhale, fill up the back side of your body. And as you exhale, empty all the breath around, especially your thoracic spine first. So you're sending that thoracic spine to the sky, and then tuck your tailbone and tuck your chin into the chest and round a little bit more. And then as you inhale, lift your gaze up, lift your hips up, melt your heart, melt your belly. And go back to exhaling and rounding and emptying everything. Move with the breath. Inhale, arch up, and exhale, round. And if you like to bend sideways, go ahead and do that. And let the breath lead your movement. So inhale, maybe bend your spine right, and then turn your gaze and look at the left side of your body, trying to see all 10 toes, and then the other side. So you're bending the spine and looking in the opposite direction. Bending the spine and looking in the opposite direction. Take your time. Maybe you want to come back to the cat-cow stretches. Again, we're warming up. We're preparing the spine, and we're preparing the spine for a back bend now. So from here, when you're ready, prepare for Sphinx. So if you need to remove your blanket from underneath your knees, you can. I'm going to move my blanket and place it under my forearms. You're welcome to do the same. And prepare, like I said, for Sphinx pose. So you're coming to your belly, forearms on the floor. Spread your fingers wide. The feet are about a hip width difference apart, or if you're feeling a pinch, if you're feeling that the compression in the lower back is too much, sometimes separating the feet helps. So go ahead and try that. But you want your elbows to be under your shoulders. The gaze is between the palms or a few feet in front of you on the floor. Don't look up. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. It's a compression of the lower back, so see how you feel about that. If the compression is too much, you can simply lower down, make a pillow out of the hands or forearms, and let your forehead rest on this pillow. Or use your block, place it in front of you, and let your head rest on the block. It's like smoothing the wrinkles in the back of your neck. You don't want to have those wrinkles. You don't want to look up. We're not trying to arch the neck up. That's not the intention. And again, if you're okay with the forearms on the floor, stay like this. That's your Sphinx pose. Anytime you feel unsafe, all you have to do is just lower all the way down. And you've been in the pose for about a minute to a minute and a half, some of you. So maybe you can take a little break, lower down anyway. Forehead on the floor or on your hands. But now release your elbows. So the elbows are not on the floor anymore. Yeah. Give your back a little break. And then you can come back to either Sphinx, or when you come to Sphinx, you can push the floor away with your palms, straightening the arms, coming out to seal pose. So you're going to feel the compression is deeper now. It's more intense, and it might have moved up to your thoracic spine. So push the floor away with your palms, straightening the arms, only if that's okay with the back. Do not do it if you have back issues, bulging discs, slip disc, any situation with the spine. Please do not go too far. Those of you who are comfortable going deeper, if you're okay where you are and you feel like nothing is going on, you can lower down first, place your palms by your chest, by your rib cage, and push the floor away, straighten the arms, and peel your torso away from the floor. So this is, again, more compression, so don't do it if you're in pain. Don't do it if you have issues that prevent you from going this deep. This is pretty deep. And the compression in the back is not necessarily a good thing. It can be a good thing if you're not overdoing it. If the body is not screaming and you're saying, no, I think I'm going to stay here, even if my body is screaming, because that's how you injure yourself. So anyway, let's start lowering down. So wherever you are, if you are in the cobra pose like me, that's the deepest, bend the elbows and lower down and find your way in Sphinx or find your way to seal. And again, one more inhale and exhale and lower down to crocodile. So now in crocodile, you want to make a pillow out of the forearms. So stack your forearms one on top of the other. And you want to separate your feet as wide as the mat and turn the toes out and the heels in. So separate the feet a lot. If it's comfortable for you to rock your hips, if that makes your lower back more happier, do that. And simply let your forehead rest on your forearms. This is still a back bend. It's a tiny back bend, but it's a good way to come out safely out of the deeper back bends that we were in. Still have about 15 seconds in this pose. Deep inhale and exhale. And one more deep inhale and exhale. And release your crocodile. And push the floor away with the palms. Return to the tabletop, to the bear pose. And from your bear pose, take your hips to the heels and melt your torso over the thighs. Make a pillow out of the hands or forearms and let your head rest. We'll rebound in child's pose. And you should feel that beautiful rounding, that beautiful lengthening also in the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, as well as the cervical spine, your neck. If you tuck your chin into the chest, you'll certainly feel. Thank you for all of those who posted messages to let me know they're here. Kim is here. And the two Melissas and Yusur and Helen and Michael. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils. Fill up the backside of the body. And exhale. And one more. Deep inhale. And exhale, and come up to a seat on your shins. So from child's pose, you want the knees to be as close together as possible. If you prefer to have the knees apart a little bit, that's perfectly fine. Now, those of you who have tight hamstrings especially, you can take the bolster and place it. I'm going to show you the back so you can see how you do this. So you take the bolster, if it's a bolster or pillow, and place it on top of your ankles. And then you just let the hips rest. They'll sit on top of the bolster. If this is not enough, you can use either a thicker bolster or you're welcome to use, I'm going to show you again, I'm going to place a blanket on top of the bolster and then sit like this. It's like creating a seat, and this way the pressure is not on the top of the feet. You might take a block in addition to all that. See, for me, that's a lot, but I'm going to still make it work just to show you how you can do this. So you can see how high my hips are in relationship to my heels, right? So you can do that depending on how tight you are. This is totally fine. For just a few breaths here, we're going to go from here to a deer pose. But this is an opportunity to kind of observe how we can sit with the, how we can sit on the shins no matter how tight we are. So now from here, everybody go ahead and move your hips to the side. So I'm not mirroring you. I don't know what you're seeing, if you're seeing me with the legs to the right or left, but I'm having my legs to the right. So come to the hips with your knees bent and the legs to the right. And if you went to the left, no problem. And then we will, in a second, and the next round, you do the other side. So you can be like this with the sole of the left foot on your right thigh. You can separate the knees a little bit more. So you're separating this foot away from the thigh. Whatever you choose is perfectly fine. But inhale, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, stretch your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. And take another inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, twist left. Now, when you twist left, twist as far as you can. And then take your right hand to the outer left thigh and drop your left hand behind you, either on the floor or the block. So do what you can. So Amir, you might want to use the block behind you and let that left hand rest on the block. Yeah, behind your back. Yes, there you go. So lengthen, everybody, inhale. And as you exhale, you twist left. Again, be mindful of how your spine feels about this twist. One more inhale. Exhale, twist left. Now keep your body twisted left. And on the next inhale, turn your gaze and look over your right shoulder. Try to have both hips on the floor. If it feels better to stretch one leg, any leg, do that. One more inhale and exhale here. Next inhale, untwist. So return to center facing the front. Take an inhale and exhale. Stretch your arms up, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist right this time. One more inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, left hand to the right knee or right shin. Right hand behind you and twist all the way to the right. So inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist right. Keep your body twisted right. And on your next inhale, turn your gaze and look over your left shoulder. Yeah. And notice how the neck feels about that. Keep the lengthening going on. Don't let go of that lengthening. But still relax in the pose. Relaxing in the pose doesn't mean collapsing. It just means being comfortable in the twist, being comfortable in the discomfort. One more deep inhale and exhale. And with the next inhale, untwist, return to center. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Next inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. Look up if that's okay with the neck, but stretch the arms first, then look up. One more inhale, lengthen, exhale, release your hands. Take them behind your back. Place the pads of the fingers on the floor behind you, on the block or on the floor. You can make fists and let the fists support you, but you want to squeeze the shoulder blades into one another and push them into the chest, open the heart. You want to soften the front ribs a little bit. You want to move the shoulders away from the ears as you lengthen through the crown of the head. Close the eyes if that's possible. This way you get to see what your body is going through internally. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Lengthen both sides of your body, the right and the left. Lengthen the front and the back. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms up, lengthen the whole body. Inhale. And exhale, release your pose. So to release the pose, you want to lean on your left hip and release both legs in front of you. Massage like we've been doing. And then when you're ready, we're going to move to the other side. So you're going to bend the knees and move the legs to the left side of the body this time. And same thing, we're starting in deer legs. So you can place the right foot on the left thigh, like I have them. Or if it's better for you to move the knees apart a little bit more, that means move the right foot away from the thigh, that's perfectly fine. So you find your groove. Make sure the hips are sitting on the floor equally. Take a deep inhale and exhale here. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Lengthen, inhale. And exhale, twist right. One more inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, take your right hand behind you, left hand to the outer left thigh. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist right. Keep your body twisted right. On your next inhale, turn your gaze and look over your left shoulder. Keep lengthening through the crown of the head. It's a very deep twist. Pay attention to what your body is saying about this twist. Don't let your body go through any pain, any unnecessary discomfort. One more inhale here. Exhale, and with the next inhale, unwind, untwist, return to center. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Then inhale, stretch your arms all the way up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale deeply in this twist. And then exhale, release your right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist left this time. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist left. As gently and as compassionately and also as deeply and honestly as possible. One more inhale here and exhale. Keep your body twisted left, and with your next inhale, turn your gaze and look over your right shoulder. Again, all that body resistance. Sometimes the body needs time to remember the goodness of this practice, especially if you haven't practiced in a while. Sometimes the body resists only during the first few poses. Sometimes it takes longer than that. Be patient. Inhale deeply and exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. Unwind. Return to center. Hold here. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And then take your hands behind you. Place the pads of the fingers on the floor or the fists on the floor. Or use the blocks again or the bolster. But press into the floor with the pads of the fingers or with the palms or with the fists. Open your heart as wide as you can, squeezing your shoulder blades into one another and push them into your chest, into your heart center. And then soften the front ribs and allow yourself to simply be here, reaping the benefits of all that twisting. And take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Inhale. Exhale. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms up. Lengthen the right side and left side of your body. Inhale and exhale. And one more, the whole body now. Lengthen it. Inhale. Exhale. Release your hands. Release your pose. Lean on your right hip to stretch your legs in front of you. Massage. Sometimes a yin yoga practice, especially a deep yin yoga practice such as this, will make the body feel like it's ancient, like it's old, tired. That's what the pressure does, the tension, that's what it does. But regular yin yoga practice will tell you that you will feel the opposite at the end of the practice, after the practice is over. All right, take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more, deep inhale and exhale. And you're gonna take your bolster or your blanket and place it somewhere behind you so that when you lean back, your shoulder blades are going to be on this bolster or blanket or pillow. So the shoulder blades are on the bolster, your shoulders are on the floor. And stretch your arms out in a T, or those of you who would like, you can stretch your arms all the way overhead. You can also clasp your hands and place them under your head. You can choose to keep your legs stretched out on the mat, or you can take the butterfly legs. So soles of the feet together and knees apart, like this, if you're wondering what this would look like. You can also take the Sukhasana legs, the easy seat. So that means one shin in front of shin. I'm showing you all these options. Those of you who are comfortable in half lotus or full lotus, you're welcome to take either half. That means top of one foot on top of the opposite thigh, or both. You might need to find your way to a full lotus here. But I'll tell you, a full lotus is much easier lying down supine when you're lying down on your back than when you're seated. So that means both feet, the tops of both feet are on the top of the opposite thighs. One more option here for the hands, if you don't want them under your head, you don't want them interlaced, you don't want the fingers interlaced, the hands clasped, you can place the hands on the floor right above your head, not on the head, but right above it on the floor, and place one palm inside of the other palm. So now, one more option actually, because I see someone here in the room doing that. One more option is to keep your feet on the floor with the knees bent, and you can let the knees rest against one another. So now, you're pretty deep in your practice. See, it took us a good bit of time to help the body stretch, to help the body open up. And what we did do in the process is help the mind quiet down. So now, even if you're feeling the discomfort, you're able to detach yourself from that. You're not numb to it, but you're not affected by it. You're not bothered. You hear my voice. You hear the sounds in your space, the sounds coming out of this broadcast. You're not affected by it. It doesn't bother you. There's a name for this. It's the suspension of the senses, or the withdrawal of the senses. It's not something that can happen with the blink of an eye, unless, of course, you are someone who practices yoga as a way of life. You're able to shut down everything around you, suspend the senses. But in a Yin Yoga practice like ours today, we help the body come to the state naturally. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more, deep inhale and exhale. And as gently as you can, find your way out of this pose. Release your legs first. Remove the bolster from under your shoulder blades. Return to the Shavasana pose, the corpse pose. And allow yourself a few seconds here to rebound. Rest. And again, you'll start noticing how deep you are within your own body, within your own space. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more, deep inhale and exhale. Next inhale, stretch your arms overhead. And when you stretch your arms overhead, point your toes as well. And give yourself a full body stretch. And then walk your arms to the left. And walk your legs to the left, finding a nice side bend
feeling a wonderful stretch on the right side of your body. Cross your right foot over left or left over right. With your left hand, either grab the right wrist or the right elbow. And deepen that stretch on the right. Again, find that honest edge. Banana pose or crescent moon pose.
If stretching your arms overhead is too much, you don't have to do it. You can simply bend your elbows and place them by your side. Cactus arms. But still feel that stretch on the right side of the body as you feel the compression on the left side of the body. As I mentioned to you in the beginning of class, for those of you who need to leave at the top of the hour, this pose we're going to hold for only 2 minutes on each side, and it'll be time for you to leave if you need to leave. Otherwise, the rest of the class will have a little bit more, including full body awareness and a deep, deep, deep shavasana, deep relaxation. Take a deep inhale, fill up the right side of your body, and exhale. See if you have room to bend a little bit more left to add to that stretch on the right. And one more, deep inhale and exhale. And come out of this pose. And return to center first. Stretch your body, the full body. Inhale and exhale. Hug your knees to your chest, rock side to side. And then one more time, stretch your legs on the mat in front of you. Inhale, arms overhead, point your toes, lengthen, and then move the arms to the right, move the legs to the right. Cross your right ankle on top of the left or left on top of right hand to the left wrist or the left elbow, and deepen the bend to the right, deepening the stretch on the left side of your body. Banana pose or crescent moon pose. If you can, close your eyes and picture. Use your mind's eye to imagine, to picture what your spine is going through. Can you feel the lengthening that's happening on the left side of your body and the crunching that's happening on the right? The compression that's happening on the right side. Can you be aware of your body to know if you are in the yin posture or some other injurious posture? Take a deep inhale through the left side of your body. Fill it up with fresh breath. Exhale, empty. And one more. Deep inhale. And exhale. And release this pose. Return to center. Realign your spine and your hips. Give yourself a full body stretch. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. And then a very brief Shavasana. Corpse pose. Simply rest in this corpse pose. And take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more deep inhale and exhale. Next inhale, arms overhead, full body stretch. Exhale, clasp your hands, turn the palms away. Another full body stretch. Exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. Those of you who are needing to leave, this is the time where we part ways. Otherwise, everybody, we're gonna twist. We're gonna have a reclined spinal twist that is short, not too long anymore. Now we're preparing for the deep relaxation. So with the knees at your chest, rock side to side first. And then place the feet on the floor. Lift your hips and shift them to the right. Shift them so much until only the left hip is on the floor. And then knees to your chest one more time. We're going to drop those knees to the left. So if you have a bolster, I highly recommend that you take the bolster and place it between your knees and roll as you drop your knees to the left. And then stretch your arms out in a T and turn your gaze to the right. Now, if it's not possible for you to turn your gaze to the right, that might be a little bit too much on the cervical spine. You can totally keep your gaze up to the ceiling or simply look to the left. But you want to stretch your arms out. That's important. Try to have both shoulders on the floor. That's important. Place the bolster between the knees. That's important. To keep that space, to keep the knees away from each other. And simply be here. We're going to be here for about 1.5 to 2 minutes. Not too long. And again, I'm hoping that you will see the difference in a longer practice. Of course, many of you who practiced with me in Dunwoody or Sandy Springs, depending on the studio where you practiced with me, we used to have these 75-minute classes, and that was important. And I would do a yoga nidra at the end, because that's what this practice leads itself to. It does lead us to deep relaxation. So today I'm hoping that you will feel how wonderful this practice is, especially because we took our time in the poses, in the rebound poses, and now we'll take our time in the deep relaxation, We don't have to rush. And the fact that you're at home, in the comfort of your own home, you don't have to run to the car, drive home, traffic, and so forth. I'm hoping that you will feel even a bigger benefit. Of course, we don't have the in-person energy. I personally feel the energy pretty strongly, even if it's online. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to teach this class or any other class online if I didn't feel that connection. Take a deep inhale and exhale. And one more. Deep inhale and exhale. Make your way out of this reclined spinal twist. So remove the bolster, return to the back. Realign your hips, realign your spine. Hug your knees to your chest and rock side to side. You want to take your bolster to the other side now, to your right side. And then rock first, side to side, then place your feet on the floor, lift your hips, and shift them all the way left. So much left that your right hip is on the floor. Then hug your knees to the chest. Then drop your knees to the right. Take the bolster and place it between your thighs, between your knees. Lean a little bit deeper to the right. Stretch your arms out. Turn your gaze to the left if that's okay with the cervical spine. Or again, you can keep your gaze up. You can keep your gaze to the right. There is no right or wrong. The only right or wrong here is how you feel. You don't want to feel pain, period. Discomfort is perfectly fine. Discomfort indicates healing in process. Pain means one thing, means injury. Take a deep inhale through the nostrils and exhale. And one more. Inhale and exhale. And release your pose. Return to your back. Realign your hips. Realign your spine and your shoulders. Hug your knees to your chest. Rock side to side. And then reach for the outer edges of the feet together or one foot at a time. Happy baby. So you reach for either one at a time. So you reach for the outer edge of one foot. You can keep the other foot on the floor with the knee bent.
and push that foot into the knee and the knee into the floor. So if you look at me, I'm bending the knees and the soles of the feet are facing the ceiling like this. Then reach with one hand and push that foot down. This foot can also be pushed down, or it can be on the floor waiting for its turn. Yeah, so that's important to have this. Even if the foot is not, if your hand is not on the foot, this action is important. All right, switch to the other side if you're doing one foot at a time. Those of you who are in the full-on happy baby, feel how this opens the lower back. And if you like to stretch the legs out to the side, you're welcome to do that. If you prefer to stretch the legs up, if you prefer to do one at a time, bending one knee at a time, you can do that. But just a very brief inversion here. Even if you simply stretch your legs up and hang here, you can place your hands on the back of your thighs. You can use a strap or a scarf or anything that you might have here to support the legs up. And then when you're ready, release for Shavasana, deep relaxation, full body awareness, then Shavasana. If you do have a scarf or a strap or a blanket, go ahead and place one on your eyes. If you feel that you need something under your head, place something under your head. So you can cover your eyes, especially if you do have light in the room. Today's body awareness will lead us to the first chakra, Muladhara, the base chakra. It's at the base, around the base of your spine. It is the chakra, the energetic wheel in charge of our grounding, our safety, shelter, our balance, our sense of home and belonging, our ancestry, lineage, where we come from, who we are. So with that said, I want you to draw your attention to the base of your spine. And I want you to picture a flower at the base of your spine. The color of this flower is red. As you inhale, I want you to picture that flower opening up as if it's opening up for life, for its day, for its action, for its engagement. And as you exhale, I want you to picture that flower closing down as if closing down for the night, for the rest, for the rebounding, recharging. Inhale, your red flower opens up. And exhale, it closes down. Now feel that this flower is larger when it opens up and smaller when it closes down. So as the flower opens up, it reaches your navel, solar plexus, your heart center,
throat, your forehead, the crown of the head. It also reaches the thighs, the knees, the shins, the calves, the ankles, the feet, and the toes. It also reaches the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the palms, the fingers, and fingertips. And as your flower closes, it closes all the way down and it shrinks all the way down to a dot, the size of a pinhead. Inhale, let your flower reach as far as the crown of the head, the tips of the fingers, the tips of the toes. Exhale all the way down to a dot. Now let go of your flower, let go of the opening and closing, and simply allow yourself to rest and recharge. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om. Namaste, everyone, and thank you very much. Do not rush out of your Shavasana. Our class ends right here. You're welcome to stay in your Shavasana a little bit longer. You're welcome to slowly start waking yourself up. I am going to end the broadcast right here, so you don't have to do anything at all. Just let yourself gently come out of your practice, whether you come out of the practice now or in a bit. I thank you very much for joining me today. This was fun. It was awesome, actually. I loved it. And I look forward to hearing your feedback. I do see all of you who joined in later and sent me a message. Thank you very much. And again, we'll do this next week. I'll send you the link once I figure out the details of how we'll be doing this. You'll be hearing from me, but you can count on a class, same thing next week, 75 minutes. I'll send you the link when it's ready. And don't forget Tuesday at 6 p.m. And any feedback on time, on style, on timing, the length of the class, I'm open to your feedback. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much again. Namaste.